Hey guys, so we are going to be thinking about taking some decimals that almost act like as like a goalpost, if you will, right? We have this sort of space in between. So we have one decimal here that becomes sort of one edge of our boundary, 21 hundredths, and we have one here, right? That is 3/10 in this case. So our goal is to find some decimals that fit in between these two targets. One tool that can be helpful is, and kind of familiar, is a number line. So here's a number line, and we have 0.2 or 2/10 here. And we have sort of some benchmarks, right? Some smaller numbers that fit between 0.2 and 0.3, or 2/10 and 3/10, right? So there's all these numbers that fit in between here. And this is just some of them. So you could get even smaller or even more specific than these. What we can do is if we mark this 21 hundredths on our number line and we mark 0.3 or 3/10 or 30 hundredths on our number line, here are just some examples, right, that this number line already gives. So as a visual, right, we can see that all of these little benchmarks along the way all fit. They're all decimals that fit between our targets: 22 hundredths, 23 hundredths, 24 hundredths, and so on. Okay. Another way we can think about this is using a place value chart as a tool. So it's sort of like creating your own number line in a way, or using a number line as a tool to sort of transfer it into this format. So what you can do is if you want to find some decimals that fit between these two numbers here, we can say, all right, well, as I compare the digits in the ones place value spot, I can see that I have 0 ones and 21 hundredths, and I have 0 ones and 3/10. So we are also going to need to have all of our digits, right? We can't have any whole numbers. We can't have anything on in the one section other than a 0, or it will automatically be bigger than our two targets, right? We'd be outside of our zone. So we know these all have to be zeros. Okay. So if we kind of take this and we say, all right, I like to send this to the back. And we have this highlight here, right? They're all tied so far. Nothing's bigger, nothing smaller. It's all tied. So we're going to move to the next place value spot column. So now we have the tenths, right? So here we are in the tenths. And as I look, I can see that the small end of my target is a 2, and the high end of my target is a 3, right? So if I say, all right, well, what fits between 2 and 3? Well, if I only have tenths, I know they all have to be 2s, right? Because 1 is too small and 2 is equivalent, and 3 will also be will also match, right? But it's not between it. So we can then kind of cover this up, right? And we can say, all right, well, so far we have everything's tied in the ones column. And in the tenths column, we have it ordered, right? We have our small end of the target, our big end of the target, and all these 2s in the middle. They all fit between 2 and 3 without going over. So then to get more specific, right now we're going to look in the hundredths column. And we know that our 21 hundredths, you could also think of it like money, right? It's like 21 cents. And this right here, I added a 0 in to make it 30 hundredths so that they have the same amount of digits or the same place value spot. So really we're working between 21 cents and 30 cents, right? So we just need to find some digits here that will fit between 1, right, or really 21, and 0, or 30, which is really 30. So I could say, well, 22, I could put 21 hundredths. 22 hundredths is just bigger, right? I could say 23 hundredths. That also works. I could also do something and say 23 hundredths and 1,000, right? It's slightly bigger than this here, 230 thousandths, and it's still smaller than our end target of 3/10 or 30